All right, welcome to the Ability Show Encore. Once in a while, life throws you a curveball and opportunity comes forth, and that's what we have going right here. A little unplanned event. We're going impromptu, and we're going to adapt, adjust, and we're going to make something really nice and exciting. I'm your host of this Encore, Kurt Roskoff, and this is all part of the work at the World of Ability podcast network. And so we've already produced in today's productions, we've already done the TDC Today Show USA and the World of Ability podcast. And we're having so much fun today that we're just going to keep the happy times going. And we're going to have some more talk show conversation. We've got our podcast engineer, Emily Gomer, and we have our color commentator and panelist, Barbara Weinstein. And we have our feature guest, Nancy Cotton. So this is going to be a fun little quartet here. Enjoy the conversation. And Emily, you want to go ahead and do a little introduction of Nancy, and then we'll tie in Barbara and we'll keep on it going. Take it away, Emily.
All right, so Kurt and I met Nancy in the Happy Neighborhood Project. She's in Texas, and has a health and wellness organization. I'm blanking on the name at the moment. But yeah, I hand over to Nancy to introduce yourself a little bit.
Sure. My name is Nancy Cotton. I do live in Texas, hence my accent. I am an autism advocate, and I love helping families who have kiddos on the spectrum. I do have a support group that meets once a month here in North Texas. It's on Zoom, and we have parents who have children who are teens and adults. These little children who have autism also grow up to be adults, and that transition sometimes is pretty stressful, and it's really hard on parents. Many of our parents divorce because it's so stressful, and that leaves one parent, generally the one who is doing mainly all of the caregiving. But they need help as they are going to possibly go to college, or maybe a trade school, or maybe they're just going to learn to ride the bus so they can get a job downtown. So we are always trying to find people who can give us some resources and some help that's out there for everybody that is on the spectrum. And so I really love doing this. I have a grandson myself who is on the spectrum, but I actually don't have access to him right now. He's with his other grandparents and they live far away. So, but one of these days I will, and I want to have all the information I need to help him. And so doing a lot of research, I have found a product that actually helps these kiddos. It actually can help anyone, but I'm really concerned with these that are on the spectrum. And it is a product that contains a natural occurring compound called zeolite in it. And zeolite attracts heavy metals and toxins. And a biochemist realized that our bodies are actually very full of all these heavy metals out here, and a lot of toxins in the air and in the water and in our food. And so he did a lot of research on zeolite. And it's a particular kind of zeolite. There are about 40 of those that are naturally occurring in the earth. And he has cleaned it and has a process to actually micronize it that makes it tiny, tiny, tiny. And he puts it in some drops that you can actually take in your mouth, or you can take it in food, or you can take it in your drinks. And when you do this, the heavy metals are attracted to the zeolite that's in this product. And the zeolite is a little cage-like molecule, and it traps those heavy metals. And then we excrete it through our urine. And it helps our cells to get well. And when our body is healthy without these heavy metals and toxins, then we can actually heal ourselves. And we've known folks that have begun to speak and do all kinds of things that they had not been able to do before. And so I'm very excited to find this product. The company is called Avini Health, and the product is called Cell Defender. And I really am excited about it. So I have been on the Happy Neighborhood Project, and most people don't know about this. This company is about 11 months old that is providing this. However, the biochemist worked with 3 other companies before he started his own, and he realized that they weren't as ethical as he would have liked for them to be. They wanted him to do his processing in a different way, and he knew that was not going to work. So his customers asked him to please start a new company. And so he did last May. And so I'm excited to represent them, and I'd love to talk with anyone who would like to know more.
All right. So Barbara, we're going to lean on you a little bit. Heavy metal definitely is not just music. So how do you deal, Barbara, with heavy metals and toxins, and what are Barbara was telling us that she had an expected phone call. So in any case, I was able to get my little whimsical comment out there. But Emily, how about for you? You are in the world of nutrition, and you're dealing with a product that kind of helps people as well in health. So when you look at what Nancy is presenting, and with their company and product, and removing toxins and dealing with heavy metals, how do you deal with that, Emily? Oh, wait a minute. I got to play podcast engineer. Oh, I don't have
Kurt. So through the through the Happy Neighborhood Project, we've met several people who are with innovative nutrition, which is all about the like the patches and getting nutrition through patches, among several other things, but the biggest thing is the patches. And so it was like interested in learning all about that, and so there have been stories about helping and really helping people, especially with one of the distributors I've talked to, which the patches really helped her, along with one of her young sons who has on the autism spectrum as well, and like really helped him kind of calm down his I don't know if you necessarily call it tantrums, but kind of whatever, really calmed him down over a short period of time. And so for a lot of positive things about it. Am I answering your question, Kurt?
Yeah, it's setting the stage, Nancy, that when people are watching and listening in, this is a commonplace thing that people can say, oh, I've got my nutrition company, I'm taking supplements, I'm taking products for my health. So kind of how does what your company is doing in these products, how do you help people understand that they might have the diet and exercise thing going on, they might be doing supplementation, and then trying to determine how that element of toxicity and the heavy metals is still present, even though they're doing a list of great things. This aspect of heavy metals and toxins is left out of the equation, that it's good to fuel the body with all the nutrients, the minerals, the vitamins, and all that stuff to deal with it. The immune system is getting fueled. But then how do you explain the role of the product you have in all of that?
Well, everyone knows that we have toxins in our environment. It's from the air we breathe. Just think about, just recently there was the derailment in Ohio of the train, and all of these chemicals went into the air. And yes, that's really bad for those people, but that doesn't just stay right there because the wind blows. And so those kind of toxins from those chemicals are going all over the world. Excuse me. The same with what happens with our crops. The farmers are buying and using a product called Roundup, and it's a toxin, and we get it in our food, and it also gets into our water. So if you breathe air and you eat food and you drink water, which you have to do to live, you're getting toxins. And in some places we get really heavy metal toxins. There was a lady that had a baby in Alaska, and they were living near a place where there was a lot of arsenic. And that child was born on the spectrum and having meltdowns, and they couldn't do anything with her. She wouldn't eat. She didn't want to do anything. And they realized finally that she had so much toxin in her body that they needed to get it out. And when they did, when they used this product, she began to settle down. She was beginning to eat all the things she needed to do to grow and thrive. So one of the stories that is just amazing to me, there was a dentist, and of course we have fillings in our teeth that have toxins in them, and all kinds of other toxins too in our bodies. Anyway, he had been trying to get those out for 9 years, and there's a way that folks say you can through chelation therapy, which is very hard on your organs, but people go through it. And this man, who was a dentist, decided to do that for 9 years. He would have his blood tested before he had the chelation, and then he would have it afterwards. And nothing helped. And his heavy metals were off the charts, as well as the other toxins were not in the green either. And he used this for 2 weeks. And he had his blood tested this past fall, and he did this in January. He took this product, it's called Cell Defender, for 2 weeks. And at the end of January, he had his blood tested again. Every single heavy metal and toxin were down in the green range, which meant that he had gotten rid of a lot of toxins. He was blown away because he had tried for 9 years and had not been able to do that. So nutrition is really important, and Emily's got that covered, looks like. And that's great for some of these kiddos on the spectrum, because sometimes they won't eat the things that they need to eat. They like to eat fast food or chicken nuggets. They don't want to eat the things that really feed their body. Exercise is absolutely important too. So all these things, other things are important, but if you can get the heavy metals and toxins out and get your body where it is in a healthy state, it's in balance, then your body can actually heal itself. This does not heal you or treat you. It just gets all the bad stuff out so that your body can heal itself.
Now, when you say it gets the bad stuff out, one curiosity I have is in the realm of cancer, some people go through chemotherapy and all of that. So you throw the poison in the system to kind of get some sort of a fight against cancer, and then you've got that all in you. I kind of figure that, some of these cases, people will then get a report that their cancer is in remission. And so I look at, okay, their cancer is in remission, made possible by throwing poison in the body. And then you're talking about removing heavy metals and toxins. Have you heard of anything like this? Like maybe somebody who's in cancer remission is using it to like get rid of all that chemotherapy crud?
The only heavy metal that this will affect is platinum.
Hmm.
So if you are taking chemo, you can continue to take this, unless you have the chemo has platinum in it, and a lot of them don't. In that case, then you stop the cell defender a day or so before you have your chemo. You don't take it the day of chemo, and you don't take it the day after. And then you can start taking it again. You want the chemo to do its job. The platinum or whatever heavy metal it is that's going into your cells, that's what takes the chemo in there. But I will tell you that as I said, we don't treat and we don't cure. But the bad cells will invite this molecule, the zeolite molecule, into the cell, and because it thinks it's food, and the cell actually destroys itself. It's called apoptosis. And so that actually helps those people who have bad cells in their bodies to get rid of those.
All right.
This product has had clinical trials. There's had peer-reviewed articles about it. So this researcher and biochemist have really done their due diligence, and it's working for so many people.
Okay, so when we get to this point, we kind of play into how people make their purchasing decisions. So like when we have these products and we represent them, it becomes a practice of helping a consumer make a highly informed decision. And consumers take different levels of information, or, so basically with what we just said, somebody could be out there and says, I want that product. But then there's some people who really belabor the consideration process, which is fine, and it's what works for them. You get tons of information. So can you talk to us a little bit in terms of the opportunity for what we don't cover in this interview? How do people go out and do their own self-study? What are some takeaways that if there's other activities, calls, recordings, things on YouTube, how do people
there are just tons of YouTube videos on Avini Health. That's what you would put in the search bar when you get to YouTube, Avini Health, AVINI. And there are, this particular biochemist has made several products. This Cell Defender is the one that I'm talking about today. But you'll see all kinds of other videos too, besides the Cell Defender. But you could actually put Avini Health Cell Defender, and those would come up. So you can do that. I have a website myself. On that website, you can find scientific information. You can also find testimonials there. There's also testimonials on the YouTube site. So you can put in Avini Health testimonials. I think that would make them come up. So there's ways to do that. I also am glad to have someone call me. My number's 817-360-5978. And I'm glad to talk with anyone who wants more information. I did lots of research and due diligence myself, so I understand where people are coming from. We're all skeptical about things these days, so that is totally fine for people to research.
So what are some ways that people can find you online, whether your website reference or where you are in social media? What are other ways on top of your phone number for people to reach out to you to follow up from this interview?
Okay, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm really new at this, so I haven't even changed my LinkedIn information there, but I do have an email in the contact information as well as my number. I am on Facebook. I have not talked about Avini much. Well, I haven't at all on Facebook as I'm so new at this. But my name on Facebook is Nancy Dodson, Dodson, Cotton, Cotten. That's how you would find me there. And you can message me, you can friend me, whatever, and I'll be glad to visit with you that way.
All right, excellent stuff. So, Nancy, I think that pretty much takes care of what we set out to do today. Anything else at the moment that you want to make sure to give as last little added thought? Anything that we didn't get into our message today? Anything else to share? Or is that about it?
I just want everybody to know that I'm excited about this. I love helping people with their health. And so I would love to speak with anyone. I love folks who have loved ones on the autism spectrum too. And so that's where my heart is right now. Thank you. Thanks for having me, Kurt and Emily. Y'all are terrific.
All right, sounds good. So with that, Emily, any last words from you, Emily? Anything else to add on to as we button up the show, as we wrap it up and put a bow on it?
I don't think so. Just thank you, Nancy, for coming on and doing this today, and welcome to come back anytime.
Sure. I'll try to be back on at 2:00 Central. Thank you all so much.
Oh, you're absolutely welcome. Our pleasure. And so, ladies and gentlemen, you've experienced the first ever for me in 6 years of doing radio, 6.5 years, and a few years of being with the Disability Channel, and working towards a few years of doing the World of Ability Podcast Network. We've never done an encore. So here, Nancy provided us that. Yeah, and Nancy, way to go. Our first ever encore. So now it's a thing. Emily, promote it out and around. Say, hey, this Nancy Cotton got us doing some encores. Who wants to be on the encore? So, so with that, real quick, as far as reaching me, you can email me, Kurt, Kurt, at thedisabilitychannel.us, and texting and calling me is 262-372-1754, and check out that website, thedisabilitychannel.ca. All right, Emily, over to you. We can close it out. We look forward to seeing you at the next encore, whenever that may be.